They know, they get nervous. The mayor's got the gavel. I'm just waiting for Anthony to mosey on up. It's only 7:29, so we're not really officially late.
Fast we can.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of July 18th, 2023. Ms. Brake, please call the roll.
Committeeman Ciccarelli.
Here.
Committeeman Rue. Committeeman Thompson.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Britting.
Here.
Mayor Lapani.
Present.
Administrator Ferrera.
Here.
Attorney Willard.
Here.
Please stand, Ms. Black. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, that notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex at 7:30 p.m. on July 18th, 2023. Our first order of business is the approval of minutes dated June 13th of 2023. May I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Committeeman Ciccarelli.
Abstain.
Committeeman Rue. Oh, sorry. Committeeman Thompson.
I heard him yell.
Deputy Mayor Britting.
Yes.
Mayor Lapani.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve special meeting minutes of June 27th, 2023? May I have a motion for those who are here?
Motion.
I'll second.
I can make a second. Even if I wasn't here, I can make a second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Ciccarelli.
Abstain.
Committeeman Thompson.
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Britting.
Yes.
Mayor Lapani.
Yes. Then I'll move into our reports from our committee liaisons, and we'll start with Committeeman Ciccarelli.
Thank you, Mayor. First, from the Building Department, please be advised if you have a construction permit for an in-ground pool, I guess now's the time of year, your permit will remain open until you receive all final approvals, including final engineering inspections. So just make sure you keep track of those if you're installing an in-ground pool. From the Engineering Department, first, we'd like to update the public on the repaving of Amsterdam Drive, Phase 2, from Vliet to Murphy Drive, which is under construction and will be finished by the end of the month. I'm not sure what they have to finish. I was out there today, and it's striped, and Phase 2 looks like it's paved, so it's looks good. Of course, the first question I had from somebody walking was, when's Phase 3 going to get done? So with that in mind, the township does have a grant for Phase 3, which will complete the entire project. The plans are still under review at NJDOT, and work will begin once the final approval is received for that design portion. Additionally, the balance of funding for that project will be part of the 2024 capital funding, so that Phase 3 is therefore expected to be 2024. So enjoy Phase 1 and 2 while you can. Phase 3 will be next year. Public Works, summer's here, and so are strong thunderstorms. I think that's been proven in the last couple of days, or last week. Many of these storms have the potential to cause rapid flooding. With that in mind, DPW is asking residents to keep an eye on storm drains that may be covered with debris or drainage ways that are blocked by vegetation or other material. There are times when the stormwater system is unable to effectively manage the volume of rain from certain storms, and by working together, we can get the most efficiency out of our systems by addressing these obvious issues. So please call the Department of Public Works for any issues that you run across or identify that may impede the flow of stormwater. Any help you can offer with keeping those drains cleared by your homes is also much appreciated. Planning and Zoning Department, there's a new certificate of nonconformity application at the zoning officer that has now available on the Planning and Zoning Department's webpage under Applications and Forms. This nonconformity application actually comes out of the ordinance that was passed, or the revisions to the ordinance for warehouses that eliminates that as a permitted use. So this nonconformity application is a new part of the process that falls out of that change in in that ordinance. So anyway, the Planning and Zoning Department now has those available and is starting to get some traffic on those from property owners. Lastly, with respect to sustainability, on June 28th, Mayor LaPani and I, along with township staff from Sustainable Hillsborough, attended the Royce Brook Grant presentation that was led by Dr. Christopher Abrupta from Rutgers University Water Resources Program and Susan Bristol, a policy specialist at the Watershed Institute. The event was held here at the municipal building in this room and focused on ways that green infrastructure can help reduce or mitigate flooding in Hillsborough and the Royce Brook watershed, and focused on several locations throughout Hillsborough that were designed for stormwater, let's say in the 1960s, before the more recent design standards have been implemented. Discussed that night were ideas such as the use of porous pavement, rain gardens, catch basins in neighborhoods and areas, and also discussed areas that will be good candidates for this green infrastructure solutions to help control runoff. Dr. Abrupta and Ms. Bristol led a pretty lively discussion with the public and officials, as well as officials from neighboring towns and Somerset County. Hillsborough is already incorporating these ideas in our current ordinances and is considering these sustainable solutions in our redevelopment and master planning efforts. You can see the presentation material if you're interested, as well as the contact information for Dr. Abrupta and Ms. Bristol at www.sustainablehillsborough.com. And that is it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Committeeman Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things from me this evening. First, just a reminder to all township residents not to leave their pets in cars unattended, especially during the days with extreme heat. If you come across a pet stuck in a car, please call the police. If you can't, immediately summon the owner. Also from the police department, the Hillsborough Police Department is inviting Hillsborough residents to come out and connect with them at the Ice House on Wednesday, July 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. In addition to meeting the local police, the first 100 kids will get a free cone, so make sure you come out to that. Also from our police department, the first time Hillsborough is hosting the National Night Out on the evening of August 1st at Mountain View Park. National Night Out is observed in the United States and Canada every year on the first Tuesday in August as a way to enhance the relationship between neighborhoods and communities. There are going to be the helicopters, canine, fire department, demonstrations, kickball with the cops, prizes, giveaways, and other fun. See the press release in tomorrow's e-news for more information. From our courts, the Hillsborough Township Municipal Court provides shared services with Manville, Montgomery, and Branchburg Township Municipal Courts. The Violations Bureau window hours are from 8 to 4, but court personnel answers phone calls until 4:30, Monday to Friday. To pay a traffic ticket online, please follow the following steps. If the ticket does not require a court appearance, visit njmcddirect.com to pay the fine using a credit card. To locate your ticket in the system, you will need the court ID number, the prefix, the ticket number, and your license number. Keep in mind that paying the fine implies pleading guilty to the violation. Alternatively, you can call the court at 908-369-3532 to arrange payment by check or cash in person. From a health department, it's obviously mosquito season. With the recent and regular rainfall occurring in our area, the Hillsborough Health Department reminds residents to routinely check their properties for mosquito larvae. Mosquitoes are not only a nuisance that can ruin your outdoor activities, but they also transmit diseases. Any container that holds water for 7 days can be used by mosquitoes to reproduce. Tires, kids' toys, buckets, bird baths, as well as natural occurring spots in your yard that hold water are all examples of prime breeding areas for the mosquitoes. Dump any standing water when possible, and if not, put a product such as mosquito dunks or mosquito bits into the water to eliminate any of the larvae. Please contact the Hillsborough Health Department with any further questions. And last but not least, from social services, the Hillsborough Can is in need of personal care and snack items for for the food pantry clients. The following are especially needed right now: deodorant, shampoo and conditioners, body wash, soap, other cleansers, sunblock, shaving cream and razors, wet wipes, lotions, laundry detergents, crackers, raisins, nuts, cookies, chips, granola bars, and other snacks. The Social Service Department would also like to share a sustainability tip. When donating detergents, please consider alternatives like environmentally friendly laundry sheets. In addition to reducing the number of plastic jugs in their landfills, laundry sheets are also a better storage option for those with limited spaces in their homes. All those items can be donated right here at the Social Services Department. Thank you, Mayor.
One of the longest ones you've had in a while. You're out of practice. Thank you, Commissioner Thompson. Deputy Mayor Britting.
Wait till you get this one. So first, my son Robbie is already challenging the police officers to the kickball game. He already has a bunch of 7-year-olds that want to play you guys. So don't go easy on them because they think they're good. So whoop them. All right, so we're going to start with the Finance Department. Your third quarter tax bills were mailed out on July 7th and are due on August 1st with a 10-day calendar grace period. Checks can be dropped off in either a secure mailbox located at the Township Building in the front entrance or by the Police Department. You pay at the tax collector's office between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., or you can save postage and take the trip to the office by pay online at hillsborough-nj.org. Next, we have Hillsborough Business Association. So we had a great opportunity to sit down with a number of businesses on June 14th. The Hillsborough Business Association hosted its 2023 Summer Networking Social. Thank you to my colleague, Committeeman Ciccarelli, for joining, along with numerous Hillsborough Township employees, New Look Consulting, the Economic and Business Development Commission, and the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, who all joined me for this fun and informative event. These business socials are really a terrific opportunity for us to get to know the businesses, help them understand the resources that are available to them, and allow them to start to engage with other like-minded local business owners. So stay tuned for the next event. This is a great opportunity for them to build their book of business within Hillsborough. From the Administration and Clerk Office, the Township Calendar. Hillsborough is again encouraging residents to submit photos for consideration for the Township Calendar. Past calendars have included pictures of our stunning scenery, including farms, mountain views, parks, creeks, wildlife. Residents are asked not to submit pictures of people and their pets, and be mindful of objects that can block scenery, such as roofs, decks, car windows, and fences. People interested in submitting photographs for consideration for the 2024 calendar can email their high-resolution image along with a photo release form to Deborah Ng at debng@hillsborough-nj.org. Each photo should be saved with the picture's location and the photographer's first and last name. The photo release form can be found on our website, hillsborough-nj.org. It's a wonderful way to show off the beauty of our township, and we do live in a wonderful, beautiful township. So please, if you have a great picture, send it in. We'll put it up. Notary services. The Township's Clerk's Office provides free notary services. That's actually a great service to have. Residents requesting notary services are reminded to sign the documents in notary's presence and not beforehand. I've made that mistake myself a while ago, had to do it over again. Also, if witnesses are required, the resident must bring their own witnesses as they are not provided at the clerk's office. It is important to note that public documents such as birth certificates, death certificates, and marriage certificates cannot be copied or notarized. The clerk's office does not notarize mortgages, deeds, real estate, closing documents, and college transcripts. In accordance with New Jersey law, the notary and the customer must communicate directly, so face-to-face. Notaries are not permitted to make use of a translator or communicate with a notary service customer. The clerk's office is open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. A little bit more, but not too much more. Sustainability, which we do a lot of work here in Hillsborough on. The Sustainability Office is gearing up for its final submission to Sustainable Jersey for the 2023 calendar year. The department has been submitting Hillsborough Township consideration into the Sustainable Jersey certification program for the past 9 years, almost a decade. The Sustainability Office appreciates all the time and dedication that goes into the submission from various township offices, township elected officials, and most of all from the Hillsborough community. Feel free to visit our the sustainability page to get involved. Now, for help quitting smoking and or vaping, a text to quit is free, so it's text to quit is a free text-based program designed to help young people quit vaping. I think it's a good opportunity because it's something that's getting bigger and bigger, and I think for the younger people it's important to focus on their health. Speaking with other individuals between the ages of 13 and 24 who are attempting or have successfully quit vaping, you can text vape free New Jersey, so vape free New Jersey, one word, to 88709 to enroll. You can also visit tobaccofreenewjersey.com, NJ Quit, tobaccoline.org or smokefree.gov for more information. Tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable death in the United States. The New Jersey Quit Line offers several options to help residents 18 and older quit smoking. A variety of support services are available for free, including coaching sessions over the phone or live chat. Again, you can visit njquitline.org or call 800-784-8669 to sign up. Young adults, too, can find support to quit smoking and vaping by visiting teen.smokefree.gov or texting QUIT to 47848. I don't expect you to remember this. We're going to send something out that gives you all the information afterwards. Credit Card Advisory Committee. So our Hillsborough Township Credit Card Advisory Committee will begin accepting grant applications for the fall on August 1st, so about a week or so away. Applications are available on the Township website or can be picked up by the Administration Office for any Township-based nonprofit, senior, or youth organizations to apply for grants up to $2,000, which is great, which are funded through the Hillsborough Rewards Program. Completed applications must be submitted to the Administration Office by Tuesday, September 12th, to be considered for eligible grant funding. Interested parties can complete the application online by attaching the quotes and submitting electronically. So to date, Hillsborough Rewards Credit Card Program has awarded nearly, hear this, $100,000 in grants to community-based organizations. It's a really great thing that we do in Hillsborough. And the last thing I want to talk about, oh, they got this there too, that's great. Toddler story time. This morning, I had the opportunity to sit down with, not my little baby, we have a 21-month-old, or pretty soon it's going to be 2, so it's not going to be months, Grace, and he wasn't there, but I had my 7-year-old Robbie with this morning, and we had to sit down with the Hillsborough branch at the Somerset County Library System. I was a guest reader. We had a chance to sing, read books, and I acted like a goofball, and they had a good time, and it was just a great opportunity. So I think they do it on a weekly basis in the library. So if you have little babies, bring them there. There are about 20 or 30 little kids there. So thank you.
I'm sure you would. You did just fine. Thank you. Okay, I have a few comments today, but first, I'm going to give you a quiz. I'm going to hold this up, and no, it's not my age. I'm older by a few years. That's 54, meaning 54 days since 206 stopped and counting. I have no new news. My latest response from the DOT is that there is no change, there is no information to share, other than they're diligently trying to work to find a resolve for the stop work on 206. Don't have an answer. They don't have an answer. We've expressed our frustration numerous times to the DOT, to our assemblyman and senator, and the governor specifically. But I feel obligated to tell you if there's any change. Now, there is one change, and that has to deal with what they call the Valley Road update, which is a misnomer. Really, it's the third phase of the project, which really goes from Champlain Road, which is the widening and the bridge expansion at the northernmost part of the project. There was a meeting with the county and some other members in the DOT, and they have pushed that project back to 2026. Obviously, because right now there's no project going on here that would need to have a bridge redone. So there'll be a meeting scheduled for winter of 2023, and NJDOT assures us they are working expeditiously to restart the construction work, and we'll have engineering and information regarding the last phase for 2026. That's where we are, people. You know to talk to or call, express your opinion, and I would. So if you need that information, it's been on our e-news several times, the address and the websites. Or call, maybe that makes more sense. But I do have some good news, because I rip the Band-Aid off early, and we'll throw the solar cream on it afterwards. The Falcon Road. Falcon Road improvements will be moving along. All the land dedications for allowing us to do the road improvements have been acquired and in place. What does that mean? That means the project should move along to construction soon. The Township Engineering Department is pushing the developer, who is paying for this road redone, not us, to play a priority on this project, and we'll work with them to get it done. We have been in contact with him, the contractor, PSE and Gene, all the utilities to push this road along and to get started at some time, hopefully later this year. Probably would not finish till next year, but at least we have acquired the land, which was the holdup all along the last couple of years. So that's good news. Friday, June 23rd was the Hillsborough Township night at the Somerset Patriots. I threw out the first pitch, and Doug, it was a strike, just so you know. The catcher didn't even have to move his glove. But really, the star of the night, to be honest, was our Hillsborough High School student, Scarlett Batone, who sang God Bless America. She's a member of the Hillsborough Choir, and she's sung for us at the Salute to Veterans, and she was awesome, and quite honestly, I thought she did better than the guy singing Star Spangled Banner, but that's just my opinion. In attendance with me was Deputy Mayor Britting and his crew. John Chickarelli was there also, and also many Hillsborough residents. And we had a good time. The rain seemed to amazingly stop right before game time, so it was all in our favor. And the team won. We did attend a ribbon cutting. Congratulations to one of our newest restaurants, Biryani City, on its grand opening in Hillsborough. If you've never tried authentic traditional Indian food, Deputy Mayor Britting has been there several times. Biryani City is the perfect place for you to come to your first meal. It's located over by Lowe's in that little shopping center off by Salad Works, if you know where that is. Come together, enjoy a variety of delicious foods with friends and family, experience Indian culture and ambiance right here in town. Like I said, the Deputy Mayor and Committeeman Chickarelli was here, along with members from the EDBC, and we enjoyed a nice afternoon and a ribbon cutting. McDonald's is having its grand reopening, as obviously they've reopened, but they're going to officially have its grand reopening. Is pleased to announce the grand reopening is scheduled for Saturday, July 29th at 2 p.m. There will be fun for the whole family, so grab your kids or whatever, go out to McDonald's on July 29th and take part of their reopening festival. Hillsborough Township, as you know, is a Purple Heart community, will hold its annual Purple Heart ceremony on Monday, August 7th at 6 p.m. at the Garden of Honor right outside here at the Municipal Complex. The 6 p.m. ceremony will be held rain or shine. If it's raining, we move it indoors. We don't make you stand in the rain. It is our honor to host this significant commemoration ceremony in honor of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. All Hillsborough residents are invited to attend this ceremony. It is important to continue these tributes so the younger generation understands the history of our nation and the sacrifices of our military personnel. In about 3 weeks or so, it is Rotary Fair time. Please bring your family to the Hillsborough Promenade if you've never been there. It's over by the Lowe's parking lot, August 15th to 19th for evening of rides, games, food, and Friday night fireworks, and have an opportunity to put maybe the mayor and a committeeman in the dunk tank in the water Friday night. Finally, on another serious note, I regret to inform Hillsborough residents that the Grinch has stolen the Hillsborough Christmas tree, and the Hillsborough annual tree lighting is in jeopardy. A resident visiting the Municipal Complex captured the incident on video. Please see the camera.
There's no sound. It's okay. There should be sound. I don't know where the TV remote is. The sound is on here, it's not on the TV. I'll lose this and fix that.
As you can see, our heroic police department responded quickly to apprehend the perp. but not in time to save our Christmas tree. So thank you to our Hillsborough PD for apprehending our tree destroyer. But in all seriousness, the annual Hillsborough tree lighting is a favorite community tradition. Our tree was sick and dying, and we have to replace it. So we try to think of a fun way to break the news. Residents participate in these fun activities, enjoy refreshments, visit, and of course, Santa always blesses us with a visit to light the tree and have a wonderful time with your family, but the Grinch jumped in and took our tree. But don't worry, we have a plan. So the Recreation Department needs your help to find a tree in time to save Christmas. They are currently holding a contest to help find a replacement tree. All individual homeowners, and I'll say even businesses, it doesn't have to be a homeowner, but who have a tree on their property that matches the requirements are invited to enter. See the press release in tomorrow's e-news for more information about this unprecedented event. So essentially, if you're familiar with how the Rockefeller tree gets picked every year and brought, that's what we're going to do. But we're not going to cut it down. We're going to dig it out live and transplant it. And then we're going to let that family be part of the Christmas tree lighting. So, scour the township, look, talk to your neighbors, friends, look around. You see a nice 25-foot blue spruce, Colorado spruce, Norway spruce, let us know. Our friends over here, Bob's here from our Parks and Rec Department, and we're excited about making this a great event for this coming winter. So that's all I have as far as announcements. So we started out kind of poopy, but we ended on a funny note. And we're going to actually share with you, which I think is one of my most favorite things to do, and Doug as an ex-mayor and Anthony Ferreras, we're going to swear in a new police officer right now. Right in front of you guys. She's a new candidate, and she's going to go off to officer to training school, but we're going to swear her in right now in front of all you. So if Chief, will you come up, please, and Sarah? Mom on that side? Hold up here and just take your time. I, Sarah Harrell,
I, Sarah Harilal,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true
and
faith
allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments
in
established
the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
and so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of police officer
all the duties of the police officer
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
No, it wasn't. No, yeah, we can hear it.
If I go like this, yeah, you gotta be close.
Yeah.
I gotta do rock star, right? All right. So our first up this evening is the Rams softball team. Come on, kids.
Yeah, really. I didn't see the second one.
Okay. So the Rams, a Hillsborough recreational softball 3rd to 5th grade team, had an undefeated season and was the Hillsborough Branchburg Tournament of Champions winner. Congratulations. Undefeated means what?
You never lost a game.
That's right. Winning. The Rams softball team include all the following coaches and children. Please state your name and pass the mic.
Scott Carlisle.
Madison Christopher. Valentina Rossinello. Emma Savitt. Megan Carlisle. Abigail Lombardi. Sienna Jane.
Coach Brian Savitt.
Alexa File. Lindsay Doyle.
Not Coach Scott. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby commend the Hillsborough Recreational Softball 3rd to 5th grade Rams team, the coaches, and of course the parents, not only for their successful season, but for their hard work, dedication, and commitment to the sport and to those principles of good sportsmanship, teamwork, and academic achievement, which was this organization endorses. Congratulations, children. Coaches don't want to say anything, so we'll just take a picture.
It wasn't the coaches, it was the girls. They had a fabulous year. We enjoyed coaching them.
Only 5 today. That's a light day. Hillsborough High School softball pitcher, our own Sarah Davenport. Hillsborough High School softball team pitcher, Sarah Davenport, has been named NJ.com Pitcher of the Year 2023 and Central Jersey Player of the Year for 2023. That's not much. She's still got more coming. She also has been named the Courier News Player of the Year in 2021 and 2023, Gatorade Player of the Year finalist in 2021 and 2023, and the 2023 Super 36 All-Star. In her 3 years as a varsity softball pitcher, she has pitched in every game for Hillsborough, totaling 77 games, has a 1,093 career strikeouts, notched 13 no-hitters, and has 7 perfect games. Only 7? Sarah Davenport is the first pitcher in New Jersey to reach 1,000 strikeouts in their first 3 seasons. Still got 1 more year to go. No. Oh, done. All right. Because she knows where she's going. I better read the next sentence. She has received a full scholarship to East Stroudsburg University for softball. I would think so. And intends to study speech pathology. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby congratulate Sarah Davenport and her family for her extraordinary accomplishments on softball field and wish her all the best in your future endeavors. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor and Township Committee, for this proclamation and support the last 3 years. Being a part of the Hillsborough High School varsity softball team has been an amazing experience and so much fun. Thank you, Coach Ione, Coach Lil, and Coach Wider. And I want to thank Chrissy Yard and my mom and my dad for the help and getting me where I am today. I also want to thank all of the girls on the team, especially my catchers, Grace and Lexi. Without them, I wouldn't be able to have as much confidence and work as hard as I do. So thank you all.
Parents, come on up. Now bring up the Hillsborough High School softball team. With a pitcher like that, I'm sure this team did pretty well, too. Who wants to hold that? Oops, somebody. Grace? Here, you get to hold it. Stand right here. I delegated. The Hillsborough High softball team was the Skyline Conference Division champions, the North Jersey Section 2 Group 4 state champion, and the Group 4 runner-up. The softball team had a season record of 26-3 and tied for the most wins in school history. The Hillsborough High School softball team included all the following athletes and coaches.
Coach.
Linda Franza.
Kayla Chess.
Grace Brulard. Danelis Lodgy. Sarah Davenport.
Cleo Correa.
Claire Marcinic.
Faith Scavron.
Coach Liliana Torres.
Got to separate the coaches. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby commend the Hillsborough High School softball team, the coaches and parents, for not only a successful season, but for their hard work and dedication and commitment to the sport and to those principles of good sportsmanship and teamwork and to academic achievement which the organization endorses. Coach?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, committee, for the proclamation. You know, these girls are very humble individuals, but I want to tell you that what they accomplished this year, 26 wins and 3 losses against arguably one of the most demanding schedules in the state of New Jersey. Yeah, we had Sarah, but we had to put up runs for Sarah, and if we don't do that, we don't win. So, you know, they did a fantastic job, and they're a pleasure to coach. And every team I have, I'm going to miss, but this team is very special to me, and I'm going to miss them all because they really worked hard. And the key to their success is through their hard work and dedication to not only to the program, but to the sport they play. And they deserve everything that they get. So, congratulations, ladies. It's been an honor.
We got a poster in the back, yeah.
Yes, and I want to. Could you step out there with that poster? My great niece is here from Atlanta, and she made us a poster, and very proud. Thank you, Adair.
All right, ladies. Thank you. Here, keep this. Swag. All right. Reverend Eckert, a.k.a. the Rev. go. Or I get yelled at for not being in the middle. Reverend Stephen Eckert is currently celebrating his 20th anniversary at the South Branch Reformed Church. Reverend Eckert began his ministry on March 3rd of 2003. He has served the Hillsborough Volunteer Fire Company number 1 as chaplain and firefighter from 2003 to January 2023. As chaplain for the Hillsborough Police Department since 2003, and as the deputy coordinator for the Hillsborough Township Office of Emergency Management since 2011. Reverend Eckert is proud that the South Branch Reformed Church remains a committed participant in the community, and especially with the Hillsborough Community Assistant Network, otherwise known as CAN, as well as continuing to face the challenges of floods, which we know you had a challenge there, a pandemic, and societal changes with grace, strength, and optimism. That is without saying. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, congratulate Reverend Stephen Eckert on his 20th anniversary of South Branch Reformed Church and wish him well for his future in service to his congregants. Congratulations.
Haven't you learned to never give a minister a microphone? Amen. Come on, Sean. Thank you very much for the proclamation and the recognition. It's an honor and pleasure to serve South Branch. It's a great place, and it's full of people that are committed not only to serving the community, but in service to our gracious Lord. And it is an honor and privilege to serve the township through the various emergency services, and making sure all our residents and our guests are safe and protected. So thank you again.
Guys. Last one. Parks and Rec. Since he caught the Grinch, we thought we might give him an award. Parks and Recreation promotes health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks. Parks and Recreation encourage physical activities by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, dog parks, fishing ponds, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles. In addition to programming and educational activities such as after-school programming, camps, and youth sports, the environmental education are critical to childhood development. July has been designated Park and Recreation Month, and Hillsborough Township recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby recognize July as Parks and Recreation Month and encourage all residents and visitors to enjoy the many activities and resources offered by our Department of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Mayor and Township Committee. On behalf of my department administrator, we thank you very much for the proclamation this evening.
So there are parks around, and I'm going to say that there's probably some that I don't even know about. There are pocket parks in this town and everything that, and I've been in this town since 1973. So these guys do a great job, and they are out there. The parks are always pristine and in great condition and inviting for whatever activity you and your family want to do. So if you really are sitting on a Saturday or Sunday, you got nothing to do, go to one of our parks, have a picnic, and enjoy the outdoors. Done with that one. slide, sachet. So, because of our great DP, Department Parks and Recreation staff, Hillsborough Township Parks and Recreation was recognized at the annual 2023 New Jersey Recreation and Parks Association, which is NJRPA, conference in April. The NJRPA awards identified dedicated leaders, employees, and volunteers in the field of parks and recreation, and recognize the state's outstanding park and recreation agencies for excellence in programming, publicity, and facility design. Honored under the video promotion category, which you can see we just did a pretty good one, the Hillsborough Township Parks and Recreation team won the Agency Showcase Award for their spring campaign, the Outer Space Task Force Scavenger Hunt, back in 2022. I don't know if you remember that. Congratulations to Hillsborough Recreation Department on being recognized for their fun and engaging campaign. Congratulations.
Again, on behalf of my Parks and Rec Committee, we thank you very much for the recognition, but it wouldn't be to the people that work for me. Annette, Will, Jessica, Griffin couldn't be with us. I'd like to thank them for their hard work and dedication to the members here in the township and also our residents as well, so thank you.
Here, we'll get a bonus picture.
Erica's coming up. Yeah. I'm going to go take pictures while Erica comes up to receive this.
Erica's coming up. All right, this is the last one, I promise. It is. Each year, the Central Jersey Joint Insurance Fund presents the annual safety award to municipalities in full compliance with the Safety Initiative Program. Participation in this safety awareness program encourages safe behavior and rewarding the municipality for completion of safety-related activities, ultimately reducing workplace injuries and creating a safer work environment. So we were awarded this, and we are happy to accept it on behalf of the employees of Hillsborough. And I know that Anthony is a big part of that drive, that we do everything from wellness and safety, and even we've done some active shooter drills in this building because he's all about planning, and he'll tell you that right now, that that's what we're about, and that translates to what you have here. So thank you, Anthony, and your staff, and to Erica. So that concludes our proclamations and presentations this evening. So congratulations to all our recipients and best of wishes on the future of all of you. We'll take a brief pause for those who wish to go home. We'll reconvene in about 5 minutes.
back must have saw me.
That made my night. That made it more fun.
Okay. All right. Susan, please return to your seat.
We're gonna get started, so we still have quite a bit to do, and. All right. Our first order of business on the agenda is the resolution authorizing the 2023 municipal budget to be read by title only. So this resolution authorizes the Township Committee to move forward with the adoption of the 2023 municipal budget without reading each individual line item. May I have a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Second? Comments from the dais? Any comments from the floor on basically just introducing the budget to be named as title only? Seeing none, roll call, please.
This is just to name the budget.
Yeah, well,
It's
there'll be,
not comments on the budget.
the budget will be actually the next resolution.
Call the vote?
Do we have a comment?
Roll call.
Committeeman Chigarelli?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Britting?
Yes.
Mayor LaPani?
Yes. All right, now we'll move on to the next topic. May I have a motion to approve the resolution adopting the 2023 municipal budget?
So moved, Mayor.
Second?
Second.
Any comments from the dais? Nope, seeing none. So now we'll take comments from the floor on the resolution adopting the 2023 municipal budget. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Chigarelli?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Britting?
Yes.
Mayor LaPani?
Yes. 2023-10, ordinance to exceed the 2023 municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank. Under state law, the unused portion of the appropriations cap, which is different from the tax levy, may be reserved to be available in the next 2 years. Each year since 2002, Hillsborough has been able to reserve some funds in the cap bank. The cap bank has no impact on the taxes. May I have a motion to open a public hearing on ordinance 2023-10?
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any discussions from the dais? Any discussions from the floor on 2023-10?
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. I'm also a Hillsborough Township property owner, Block 86, Lot 3, 2155 Camp Plain Road. Once the municipal budget has this, is exceeded, as it says here, to exceed this budget, if you do need to exceed the budget, how is that handled?
Mayor, if I, so, Mr. Janczak, maybe you forgot, but this is the same ordinance that the township adopts every year, and I would tell this township committee, every township I represent, every township I know of adopts the same one. Basically, what it is this statute was put in by the legislature to not penalize municipalities who kept their budget under the cap. So this allows them, if you keep your budget under the cap, you can bank 3 years of that amount that you could have increased it, and you can use it in future budgets if the need ever arises. Basically, why did they do that? So you wouldn't penalize good government. Hey, I kept my budget at 0. I didn't have any increases for 3 years in a row. Now all of a sudden I need to go up by 5%, but I'm not allowed to. But yet municipality B went up 3.5% every single year, and they're way over that amount, and they're allowed to. That doesn't sound fair. So the legislature put this in to allow you to bank up to 3 years. That's all this is. Since I've been here, you guys never went into the bank in any year to take advantage of it.
That's correct.
But again, it does preserve it in case it's ever needed.
Oh, okay, so Hillsborough never had to go into any of this?
Nope.
So if a municipality has to go into it, is that shown somewhere on the records that they now were using the money that was
Yes,
set
it'll
aside?
keep them, it'll keep them within the, because they banked these years, it'll keep them within the cap.
But that's shown on the records that this is what was done?
It'll show within there that, that they went, if you looked at their numbers, it'll show that they're over 3.5% or whatever, but because they bank certain years, they're still within the cap.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on 2023-10? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close public hearing and adopt ordinance 2023-10?
So moved, Mayor.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Chickarelli?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Britting?
Yes.
Mayor LaPani?
Yes. We'll now move on to consent agendas. We have consent numbers 1 through 32. And I apologize, it's a relatively lengthy consent agenda because we're only meeting once this month. May I have a motion to approve consent agendas 1 through 30, there's only 31 consent agendas. 1 through 31, it's a misprint. So 1 through 31, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve consent agendas 1 through 31.
Thank you.
I second that.
Thank you. Any comments from the dais on any of the resolutions 1 through 31? Mr. Ferrer?
Thank you, Mayor. I also wanted to thank our CFO, Alicia Noon. Thank you for being on the dais. Thank you for preparing the budget. We appreciate it, so thank you. Just wanted to mention on number 3 and number 4, both Jack Cummings and Diana Boland starting out in our floater position, two excellent new employees to help the township in that floater role, which we've been doing for many years to make sure that we're backfilling positions as we need, as emergencies arise, and also through our training program, making sure that we're ready with succession planning for people to step in and be trained and move right into a job through career development. So just those two. So thank you.
Anyone else? I'd like to, 6, granting permanent employee status to our 3 officers that we were sworn a while ago, Zachary Jussier, Vincent Garano, and Daniel Rodriguez. So I'd like to congratulate them on becoming permanent members of our police force. And we just, obviously, earlier swore in a new one, so we're continuing to grow as we need. Anyone else? Seeing none? Okay, so we have that. Any comments from the floor on consent agendas 1 through 31?
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. Consent number 30, resolution authorizing a person-to-person transfer of liquor license 1810-32-011-004 from Polish Falcons Camp, Inc. to Elmo Liquor LLC. This was a sale of this liquor license from Polish Falcons Camp to Elmo Liquor.
It's a private sale, yes, we have nothing to do with it. It's sale from one party to another, and basically we, according to our, Ms. Brake, that we just have to, after it's been approved by the police, we just have to put it on our consent that we've agreed.
I was a member of the Polish Falcons District 1. My husband is the vice president of Polish Falcons District 1, and Polish Falcons District 1 has a purchase and sale agreement with the owner of Polish Falcon Camp and this liquor license. And Polish Falcons District 1 has a right of first refusal to buy the liquor license. And I believe a letter was sent from attorney Walter Toto to the Hillsborough Registered Municipal Clerk Sarah Brake, informing of that. Walter Toto also sent a letter to, I don't have the letter with me, but to the attorney for the Alcoholic Beverage Commission, informing that there is a right of first refusal, and Polish Falcons District 1 is entitled to that, and he, in his letter, said that the seller, which is kind of convoluted, Falcon Community Holdings, should cease and desist in any sales to anyone other than until the right of first refusal is granted to Polish Falcons District 1. So I just want to put that on the record that this is, there's a lot of issues going on with this liquor license.
I can
There was
appreciate,
an
Ms.
issue-
Janusik, but that has to be taken up with the state, not us.
Excuse me?
That's an issue with the
That's an
state.
issue for the state, not for us.
It's a private sale between those two parties, and their attorneys will work it out between them. But we, as far as the township is concerned, this is just a resolution that we've done the background check. The sale was already well underway long before, we've received that letter today. So we're doing our duty in putting this resolution on the agenda today, that we have done our background checks and approve of the sale as far as we know.
So background check was done on the new buyers, Elmo Liquor LLC?
Correct.
Okay, and what is the location of this, the property where this liquor license is going to be used by Elmo Liquor LLC?
They haven't indicated a location.
They don't have a location?
Not at this time.
So will that continue to be a pocket license?
If they don't have a location, it will be a pocket license, yes.
Okay, but when they're buying it, they have to say either they have a location or it's a pocket license. So right now, it's being identified as a pocket license?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. Consent 27, resolution amending renewal of township liquor license 181032002-010 for the 2023-2024 license term. So this is an inactive license. It's saying here that they have a new location for their business, but it's showing here inactive license. What is happening with this license?
They renewed the license as a pocket license, and since that renewal time, they have now indicated that they have a location. So a license that has a location cannot be a pocket license, but it isn't open yet, so therefore it's inactive.
So it's going to be used at this 315 Route 206, Unit 12?
Yes.
And what is that? Unit 12?
It's a location in a strip mall.
So it doesn't have, the business doesn't have a name, it's just, Unit 12 identifies the property that it's...
They haven't given it a name yet.
So Unit
They
12 identifies...
have leased the property, and they haven't opened it yet.
So what I'm asking, Unit 12 is the...
That's the address.
The property of that, where it's going to be
Yes.
used. consent number 28, resolution authorizing the award of a plenary retail distribution liquor license to Ravina Gatra. So it says here that on April 25, 2023, the Township Committee adopted a resolution authorizing a plenary retail distribution liquor license to be sold under a public sale option. I think at that time I had asked the question if there had been any bids accepted for those licenses, and the answer was no. So when did all of this take place?
There were bids made and accepted according to the schedule that is in that resolution.
Ms. Brett, I think she's referring to actually the first time. The township went out.
Last year?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, so she's just mixing up the dates. The first time the township did this, there was no bids.
Right.
And this was the second time.
So all of this was put out a second time in April or May, or when was this put out a second time? for bid?
Just like it says in the resolution, on April 25th, the Township Committee authorized it. It was published on May 5th and May 12th, and the bids were submitted and opened on June 15th.
So is there any information as to how many bids were put on this liquor license?
Yes, Ms. Janusik, as stated in the actual resolution, there was a bid received from Ravina Gatra for $410,000. There was a bid received from Swampna Sankara for $360,000, and there was a third bid received from Jingesi Shah in the amount of $353,000. We are obviously accepting the highest bid of $410,000.
Okay. And consent number 29, resolution authorizing the award of a plenary retail consumption liquor license to AMA Cucina LLC. So this also went under the public sale option?
Yes.
Is this a different license from the other, from the one that went to Ravina Gatra?
Yeah,
Yes.
the other one was a distribution, this is a consumption.
So distribution is
Bless you.
used in what type of establishment?
I believe that's a liquor store,
Liquor
you're
store.
selling it?
Mhm.
And the consumption, and you can see who the bidder is, the successful bidder, Ama Cucina. They're a restaurant.
It's only in the restaurant, they can't sell, only.
They're a consumption, they sell to customers who consume on the
They can sell
premises.
as part of the business, as part of what goes on in the business, but they can't sell liquor.
No, to be
Correct, they
consumed
don't have.
on premise.
Right, correct.
Okay. All right. There was, is there a reason why the resolutions regarding the budget are not numbered as a consent? But because you've got.
They're not part of
other
the consent
resolutions.
agenda. They were taken in the budget section, not on the
Right,
consent agenda.
but they're a resolution, they usually.
But they're still
number.
resolutions.
So they're,
And
They're separate votes.
they're what?
They're separate votes. You have to vote on them separately.
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to find the one that has a transfer of funds based on inspections by the assistant engineer. Who is the assistant township engineer?
Everett Smith?
Yeah, that's in-house.
What is it?
That's our in-house engineer,
And what is his name?
Everett Smith.
Edwards?
He's the
Edwards?
assistant to
Tom
the engineering director, who is Tom Bellinger.
Okay. Okay, so that's consent number 12, resolution authorizing the transfer of earned amounts from the subdivision and site plan engineering trust accounts to the treasurer's account. So Gateway Phase 7, that's a project that's in progress?
I would believe so, because it's Phase 7.
Yes?
Yes. So as they finish and they get inspected, their money and escrows are released if the project is completed and inspected and approved.
Okay, so Sherburne Tract, balance $2,561.57. That's the project
Yes, by you.
on Champlain Road, off
Yeah.
of, or on Concord
Yes.
Street, off of,
Yes.
okay. All right. All right, there are probably more, but, all right, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jansen. Anyone else with questions on consent agendas 1 through 31? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Ciccarelli.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Britting.
Yes.
Mayor Lupani.
Yes. We'll now move to public hearings. First one today is 2023-09, ordinance amending Chapter 143 Vehicles and Traffic, Article 12, Schedules, Section 143-35, Schedule 6, trucks over 4 tons excluded of the Code of Township of Hillsborough, Somerset County, New Jersey, to add that portion of Willow Road from Amel Road to Hills Road to list of parts of streets wherein trucks over 4 tons are excluded. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2023-09?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Any discussions from the dais? Seeing none, we'll now open up to comments from the floor on 2023-09. You going first, public? Just, as you know, get close to the mic. It's very... Yeah, I know. Have a seat.
Olene. Susan Gullah, Fort Hunt Club Road. I have two questions on this. Why was this not extended south to Township Line Road, particularly in lieu of the double 90-degree turn there with no sidewalks and no bike paths, no bike lane?
The traffic study that we did isolated particularly this section of road because it is wider and set between 2 major arteries of Hillsborough Road and Amwell Road. That's why we identified that.
Okay, and it was felt, what, that
And we
a
had
trucker wouldn't want to go through that section anyway, maybe, I'm not sure. Is there a right to farm exclusion on this?
Right to farm exclusion as far as vehicles? Yeah,
well,
if
you know,
it's-
you've got all
if you're-
those farms.
If you're local, and that's, I would imagine, and it's up to the chief in the back there, and you have, that's the only way you can get there to bring stuff to your farm, that would be permitted.
Okay, because we have a lot of fields there that they're harvesting and moving things around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Bless you. Just hand it to the young lady behind you. We'll never say you'll be a rock star. Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. I guess I'll just hold it.
There you go.
Good evening, Amanda Curley from Day Pitney on behalf of Homestall Road LLC. Currently has an application pending for 2 warehouses before the planning board, and I'm here to formally place our objection to this ordinance on the record. First, I wanted to confirm that notice was properly done between the first and second reading. I was unable to find it on the New Jersey Public Notices website. Do you happen to know the date that you published that this was going on for second reading tonight?
It would be the public hearing date, second reading. We published the date of the public hearing. That would have been the Friday after the Township Committee meeting where it was introduced.
Friday after June 13th.
Yeah.
What publication?
Not the, in the Hillsborough Beacon.
Okay, in the Hillsborough Beacon.
That's all we got.
Well, you also sometimes publish in the Courier, so it's kind of some days one, then the others. For example, Ordinance 2023-11, you published in the Courier News, Bridgewater, but not
That was
this
published
one.
in both.
That was in both,
Yes.
but this one was not in both.
But our normal paper is the Hillsborough Beacon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second, I just want to say there's absolutely no basis for this ordinance and this weight restriction. The whereas clause claims that there's a high number of warehouse applications, then states 3 are currently pending, which is not exactly high volume. Also, it's premature. The 3 applications that are referenced are pending. They're not approved. So it's kind of hard to say there's a lot of traffic when you actually don't know what the traffic's going to be or if these warehouses are going to be approved by the planning board. So it's extremely premature. There's absolutely no basis or data that this is based upon. To that, regard, I'm looking at another whereas clause that says, it's the recommendation of the township engineer, and it was their evaluation. I have not seen that. It would be great if it was attached. Instead, I'm looking at a 2022 analysis prepared by Pannoni that reaches a completely different conclusion on page 5. I'll just read it for you. This is Willow Road weight limit restriction prepared by Pannoni Associates at Beth Ann Grasso, PE, dated October 22nd. I'm going to page 5, and it says, conclusion, upon review of the collected data and existing roadway conditions, a justification for a 4-ton weight limit on Willow Road has not been identified, and the implementation of such a restriction cannot be recommended at this time. If conditions change, such as development or chip generations, or a significant increase, we can be, and then down, can be re-evaluated.
And I think you just hit it right there on the head, though. It can be evaluated, but we're doing good planning, and our planning is saying we're going to go ahead and put this weight restriction on there. And if if we go back and see their 90, you could shake your head, but this is what we're going forward with. We can go ahead and say, you know what? Maybe we need to relook at it and say it doesn't need to be a 4-ton weight limit. But right now, it is my opinion as an elected official here in town that we should move forward with this and put a weight restriction on there. Because there is pending development.
But what is your basis?
Because there,
Where's your expert testimony? Where's your reports? Where is anything that indicates that this is necessary for the health and welfare and safety?
well, it just said it that I could assure you that it is needed for the health, welfare,
But
and
are you
safety.
a traffic expert?
No, and neither are you. So.
But Pannoni is.
No, and Pannoni said, you can laugh, but
So-
Pannoni said it's something that can be reevaluated. And in my estimation, in my opinion, as an elected official here in Hillsborough, that we're going to move forward with this at this time.
I respectfully disagree, and I
You
would
can.
love to know what traffic statement you're relying upon, if
Okay,
not the
there is
2002.
there was an updated report from Pannoni, so I don't know what report you're referring to.
There
but-
was?
Yeah.
Do you have the date?
I do not have it with me, no.
Okay, I'll do an Oprah request, and then.
Please do.
So the updated report we did was based on the existing conditions. We asked them to speculate if there was a build-out of the proposed development around the town, would that justify a weight restriction? And I think you'll find in that report that it did.
Okay, I will do an Oprah request, because that was not on the materials to review. It's
Okay.
just referenced in the document.
Fair.
And lastly, I'm just going to say I don't think there's any real basis in reality. I think this is all just to stop warehouses, and it's not great sound planning, but that's my only opinion. So thank you, and I just wanted to put it on the record.
Thank you for your time.
I'm going to have to hand it to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not going in.
Next person, grab the mic. I know he can put it back in. He's done it before.
Bill Martin, 237 Hillsborough Road.
Hello, Bill. You just got to
hold.
click it in. You got to just,
Okay. She mentioned Pannoni. Pannoni did do some turning radiuses. I don't have a date on them, but they did do a number of turning radiuses that show their small tractor trailers crossing over the center line into oncoming traffic and entering bicycle lanes in order to make the turns on these streets. So that's part of the answer there, I think.
You are correct.
Okay. Now, I guess they're also admitting that this is going to be a major feeder road for these warehouses, and that's why they're fighting it. I'm not sure if that shows on their traffic report, but I don't know if this applies at all either. These applications were put in before the ordinance. Does that affect whether they would be affected by these or not, by this ordinance or not?
it doesn't affect whether their approval or disapproval, but it would affect the traffic on the road. That's regardless, separate.
Okay, good, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Township Committee members. David Brooks, 7 Winding Way.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks.
I wanted to commend you for introducing this ordinance. I wanted to also maybe set a little bit of the record straight as it relates to the comments from outside counsel. What's not in the record is the fact that at least 57 residents who live along
Willow and who live next to it, including myself, filed a petition with this township requesting the township to begin the process of weight restricting Willow. Has nothing to do with warehouses from our point of view. It has to do with the fact that Willow is a residential road. Willow has seen increased truck traffic, tandem trucks, dump trucks, tractor trailers, increases of folks who have decided that they're going to use Willow as a shortcut back towards 287. Yes, there are proposed developments, and that's listed here, but that's not the reason why this is so needed. It's needed in order to restore Willow Road back to a residential setting that it has lost over the last few years. As you all may recall, I came before this township committee probably a few years back and also spoke with the police department about weight restricting Willow when the bypass was being proposed and being constructed. We don't need tractor trailers on Willow Road now or ever because there is a parallel alternate route. Thus, this makes immense sense, and as a resident who lives directly next to Willow and hears all that truck traffic, I certainly appreciate what you're doing. And also believe that it is substantiated, partly because we have asked you and you have responded, but also because it's really needed. The issue of warehouses, irrelevant to the need. If the warehouses are built, yes, it compounds the problem, but that's not why, at least, I'm here. The part that I think is also really important is to focus on restoring our neighborhoods, and this ordinance will do exactly that. One or two thoughts for you. Take effect immediately. I was hoping we might get a sense at some point from the township manager with regards to how that'll take place, simply because of the signage and the other components that will be necessary. And that last important word, enforcement. I'm hoping that we can impress upon those who don't want to listen that there can be some form of enforcement. I also would echo what Susan asked. I think it makes sense to look at in the future two things. One, extending it all the way to Township Line Road. And the last thought for your consideration, even though it's not in the ordinance, is the idea of looking at the speed limit and lowering the speed limit on Willow Road. It's not a raceway. Sometimes it seems like it is. Anyway, I appreciate what you're doing, and from our point of view, it has nothing to do with warehouses. We love warehouses. No, that's not true.
Let's not be disingenuous.
Yes, I won't be disingenuous. But with regards to the need, there's a need, you're fulfilling it, and we all appreciate that. All 57 folks who signed the petition, and all the rest of the folks that are here to speak, and I will let them go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I just make one comment?
Sure.
Just, Mr. Brooks, just one comment, just so you know, we are looking directly at the speed limits on Willow Road. We received the traffic study back, a speed study back just this morning, actually, 12 hours ago. So in the process, we're looking at it, but
Actually,
that
we've
takes a
done
little time.
2 speed studies. We did our
2,
own,
that's
and
right.
then Independent Ridewise did one also. So we have 2 studies. And I appreciate your enthusiasm, but can we not applaud? Just keep it as a orderly meeting, please. Yes, next.
By the way, just one last thought. Mayor, I have mentioned this. I can't help but mention it again. It would be really great if we could get a podium up here. And you folks are the folks that do decide that. I know the planning board doesn't. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brook.
Mr. Mayor, for the record, the Pannoni report, subsequent Pannoni report is dated May 23rd, 2023.
There you go, Counselor. You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Joe O'Connell, 20 White Meadow Road. I wanted to again thank you for putting this proposal there. Historically speaking, when they built Pike Run, everybody was concerned about the traffic that would occur on 206. Well, the traffic appeared on Willow Road because they weren't stupid. They knew how backed up 206 became. This was, of course, before the bypass. And so they found, just like everybody else, the shortest, easiest way to get north, of which Willow Road. That resulted in traffic lights having to be put at both Hillsborough Road and, more importantly, at Amwell Road from there. It just made sense, if you think. And so I appreciate the fact that you have been proactive about this in looking at forward if things do get developed out, instead of having to look backwards and say, oh, yes, it's been a big problem. I happened to be on Hillsborough Road turning north onto Willow a couple months ago, and I was surprised to see that a big tractor trailer from ShopRite was just ahead of me. So I kind of followed it past where I normally would turn off just to see what the effect of. And I can tell you that they did have to go into the bike lanes. They did cross the center lane, and they took almost 2 minutes to turn right onto Amwell from Willow. And that was just, I wish I'd had the sense to think and you know, but I don't use my cell phone while I'm driving, so I didn't.
Thank you for your safety.
Good answer. We almost caught you.
On video. Otherwise,
Chief was getting ready to pull out the ticket back there, no.
Yeah, I just have, you know, I guess it'd be hearsay evidence from what I'm telling you happened. But I do appreciate you being proactive in this, and I think it's the right move. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'Connell. You can stay right there.
Thank you, because I'm stuck. so-
Yes, that's okay.
Okay.
We'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you. I really appreciate what you've done here. I think it's a wonderful.
Just your name and
Oh,
address
I'm
of
sorry,
record, please.
Nancy Matei from 6 Cornell Trail in Hillsborough. And I really appreciate what you've done here, and I think it's a wonderful first step in the right direction. Hillsborough's roads, both 206 and all of the secondary roads that would be involved in tractor-trailer traffic from any or all of these warehouses would be seriously affected. Each road would have to be widened. Each road is tortuous and winding. Each road has no capability of making any kind of turn into another road without a direct interaction with opposing traffic. And these kinds of changes will have to be accommodated if in fact any or all of these projects are approved. If in fact these changes have to occur and Hillsborough has to bear the burden of this, the taxpayers should not have to bear the burden of this. And so every single widening, every single reinforcement of a road, every single reinforcement of a bridge, every single jug handle, every single exaggerated turn should be paid for by the users of these trailers, of the owners of these facilities. It is my estimation, after having been a warehouse shipping and distribution manager, that over 10,000 trucks per day could hit the road as a result of all of these warehouses if all of them were approved. And I'm going to say that again, over 10,000 tractor trailers a day. I have loaded and unloaded trucks. I have retrofit warehouses. I have selected warehouses for P&G. I know exactly what I am talking about. This is a tremendous cost. It should not have to be the taxpayer's burden. And so I would suggest that we start thinking about an escrow account in Hillsborough's attorney, for Hillsborough's attorney to set up, to have over $250 million put into that account to accommodate all of these changes. And also, there's going to be a significant amount of property taken away from landholders here in Hillsborough. And as you all know, Hillsborough land's very expensive. So we should not have to bear the burden as a township either. So I would like you to start thinking about what we will do to offset the cost of what these warehouses will entail if in fact they are approved.
Thank you. Please.
No applauding.
Please, no. And also, I let her go, but please, if our comments can be just to what this ordinance is and not go too deep down the rabbit hole.
Gail Martin, Hillsborough Road. I just wanted to thank you for doing this ordinance. I think it will benefit traffic, road maintenance, safety, and be the best thing for that area. And I encourage you to vote yes for it.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Anyone else?
John Spellman, 238 Hillsborough Road, Hillsborough, New Jersey. And who says that Willow Road is not a racetrack? You could have fooled me. Anyway, the amount of truck traffic is going to be enormous in town. If you look at Hillsborough Road and 206 where the factory is, if I'm making a left-hand turn and a tractor trailer is making a right-hand turn, I have to back up to give that truck room to move. These roads are not built for that. And the sheer amount of truck traffic is going to be enormous in this town. These 18-wheelers have to come in and go out. In full, out empty. We just don't have the infrastructure for that in this town. It's just, you're asking too much, too fast. And Homestead Road is, when I moved here, it was nothing but farms there. It was a horse and buggy road. It still is, as a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned. So I just would be a very bad idea for the township. Would have a detrimental effect on our we have a detrimental effect upon the township and the lifestyle. I moved out here because it's a nice town, and I just don't want to see it become too industrialized. Thank you.
Mayor, can I just make one quick comment? I think it's important just to remind the public that developers want to build warehouses here in Hillsborough, not the township. That developers are looking to do this on their land, not the township committee, not the planning board. It's developers that want that. But more importantly is that this ordinance, while we're discussing warehouses in a tangentially, it is important to remember that this is about weight restricting one road and not talking about warehouses, but about making sure that Willow Road is a safe road here in Hillsborough.
Great. Brian Tarantino, Fairfield Lane. Good to see you guys. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I think one of the things that it's important to realize is that it's not just about warehouses here in Hillsborough, that there is a regional transportation plan to make Central Jersey a warehouse hub to reach the whole northeast corridor. So when people say, oh, you need to be okay with trucks and you need to be okay with warehouses if you order from Amazon, it's really not true in this case, because we have those. We have Amazon warehouse within a few miles of right here. It's really about the regional transportation plan to make Central Jersey a transportation hub and to locate many millions of square feet of warehouses. And so we need to take these steps, and we really, on behalf of SWAT, we really commend you guys for doing this. This is excellent. And so it's really about protecting our communities, protecting our neighborhoods, protecting sensitive populations. I think the comment that this action is premature before the warehouse applications are considered, actually quite the contrary, exactly the opposite. It's exactly the right timing because the applications should be evaluated based on this road being protected, not assuming the road is available for truck traffic and then have it be weight restricted. So it is absolutely the right time to do this. The notion that there isn't a basis for this is laughable. The idea that that we would not have to protect this road against the flood of trucks that are likely to come. When we weight restrict this, when you weight restrict this road, it shows up as restricted on commercial GPSs. And so truck drivers that are driving through town, and there's lots of trucks, if you notice, they will be steered away from Willow Road, and that's exactly what we're looking for. It is a sensitive road. There's a park. There's not a continuous sidewalk. There's school buses that pick up and drop off children. There's cyclists. There's pedestrians. So it's entirely appropriate. And then the last comment I'll make, I mean, I've written a whole report that I've submitted to you guys, but the last comment I'll make is that the notion that, oh, you have no basis for doing this is laughable. The township has been weight restricting roads for the past 45 years. So there's been 17 roads that have weight restricted, and not one of them have had the need, there hasn't been a need to have an extensive traffic study or evaluation. That it's been mostly based on recommendations from the township, from the police officers, the chief of police, and the township professionals. And we believe that that's an entirely appropriate approach for weight restricting, and so we agree with the notion that this ought to be passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tarantino. Oh,
Hi, Catherine Payne, Beverly Drive, also off of Hillsborough. And, you know, it's a huge issue, so this is super great that you're doing this on Willow. Are there any potential other main roads that you're looking at, Willow as well as Hillsborough, both double-lined? Our section from Willow straight through to Amsterdam really also takes a lot of truck traffic to the bypass, or I'm sorry, not the bypass, but over the canals and things.
so there's a part of our master plan review, there's several different studies that are part of that, and Mr. Ciccarelli is on that subcommittee. There's vulnerability study, there's traffic planning that will look in that we are new stuff that actually is mandated now by the state to holistically look at different plans so the short answer is yes, but it's not regionally, it's more of a holistic of the whole town.
And also, too, in that study on Willow, obviously there was devastation of the flood. Cars were left for, you know, about 24 hours after the flood about a year ago. Was there anything taken into account from the flood potential of that area with this road?
There's really most just traffic, not necessarily the weather component.
That would definitely be an issue with a larger truck coming through at that point. I'm going to try this.
You can do it. Just clip it right in. There you go.
There you go.
So you gotta, thank you, Ms. Payne.
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. I'm in favor of this ordinance. I think it's important to have safe roads for the residents, for the children, for the bicyclists. But I have a question in regard to Willow Road. Is that a township road or is that a county road?
Township.
So do you require approval from the state if you want to do a weight restriction on a road?
No,
If it were a county road, would you have to have approval?
we could not do it. The county would have to do it.
The county would have to do it, okay. All right, so then a municipality has the authority to weight limit because Manville, we're being told that they can't do weight restrictions on the streets of Manville, that they need approval from Trenton. So I just wanted to find out how this process works.
So there is two different things. There are truck routes and there are weight restrictions. Truck routes are a much more larger restriction because once you set truck routes, it basically makes all your other streets on your town, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Lord, that no trucks can go on it. So weight restricting is a means for a municipality to keep trucks off of certain areas of their township without having to do truck routes.
Okay, so then if you didn't have the weight limits, then you would have to designate certain streets as truck routes?
We'd have to designate a lot of streets. It would be almost impossible for a town our size.
Okay, all right, thank you.
John Shockley.
Hello, John.
You all know me. 189 Homestead Road, Hillsborough. So I sit here, Doug, and I have to say, it's sad that we're having this hearing because listening to you, everything's cut and dry and nothing's going to change, and I think that's wrong. That we're supposed to be able to come in here and address the committee and try to have an open mind of what's going on. So that's, I think, poor. Mr. Willett, I did file for an Oprah request, and this is what I got back, the preliminary thing on October 22nd. I did this probably about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So if there was another one with this, I never got it.
Yeah, there is a May report, May of 2023.
Well, yeah, so I didn't get it, so we wouldn't have known that, because I didn't send it to the homestead property. I listen to these people, so I have the answer. I think we should go to Lancaster, we buy horses and buggies, and we start to live. And then that will make everybody happy. I have so somebody got up here and said about the intersections, this is off the report. A review of the intersections along Willow Road shows no signs of damage related to truck turning movements, indicating that the truck turning movements can be accommodated. Now, I've been on that road. I was approved. I'm 1,500 feet from Willow Road, and I've been approved to have my property and have it in the use that it's in. And now I'm supposed to go from my property, drive down Homestead Road, go out 206 to come all the way back to Amwell Road. If I'm going towards Franklin or to go to Montgomery, I can't run down the back road. It doesn't even make sense. And the other thing is, that to me makes no sense, everybody that has a dually pickup truck's in violation of the law that you're going to create. Where's the common sense approach to that? I mean, if you're going to try, and I'm totally against weight restrictions, I don't think you need it. I live on the same roads that, like Mr. Brook, what is it, David Brook? He lives on Winding Way. He doesn't, not on the frontage of Willow Road. It's no different than me. I'm going to complain about Willow Road, and I sit up on the top of Homestead there. It's all BS. There's a man that just likes to complain. So we got to look at the whole thing and how it affects everybody. Obviously, your decisions are made no different than it was what you did with the warehouse a month ago, whenever that was, and now we have this new extra step in forms. This is great. America at its best, we just create more paperwork, more forms, and more laws, and more rules. I'm going to run Hillsborough Road, or Willow Road. I have no choice. It's in my business to go that way. Your father was on a board that approved it 35 years ago, and that was the way I was told to come in because of wide loads. I can't clear the hill with a wide load sticking out on the other side of the road and have somebody run into a track of a machine. So that's the way we testified how it was going to be. Either Township line or Amwell Road was the only two legal ways into my property at that time. What you do with the warehouses, what you do. This is for me to exist as in a business that's been in town for 35 years and that's operated within 1,500 feet of Willow Road and used it. I think you need to look at everything. I think you need to give it more time and stop. And the other thing I would recommend, give me one vote for every acre I own, as you give David Gardner 1 acre, one vote for every acre he has, and then maybe we would have a voice versus 50 people in the room. But it's sad. Votes count, and the people that are other people means nothing. Thank you.
Mayor, just a quick comment. Sorry, quick comment from me. One, I was talking about me personally and my opinion on how I was going to vote tonight, and I've done my research on this ordinance, and I can say publicly how I'm going to vote, and why I can appreciate what you had to say. I'm still an elected official, and I have my positions, and this is one I feel strongly about. So as much as I respect yours, I ask you to respect mine. I've done my research, okay? So I just wanted to get that on the record, Mayor.
Next.
Hello, Greg Triance, 541 Willow Road. As you could hear, I said Willow Road. I'm the one who's probably affected more than most people. I'm also third generation here in town, and so I've seen traffic change, as has my mother and as has my grandmother. And I definitely applaud you for putting this resolution into place and think that we could all very much benefit for this. My main thing is seeing trucks come in like they're 10 times more than what we've used to see on that road. I see it on a daily basis. I'm facing it. I have cameras out there that can show you proof of it. And it shakes my house every time a truck goes by. So I would definitely, benefit from this more than anyone. Thank you.
Grant Colmer, Taylor Avenue. A couple questions. One, well, first a statement. Appreciate the support for this, and I feel just for the resident as well, echoing their concerns with it. So step in the right direction. I appreciate that support. we feel that the residents here are being heard from. Two, just a clarification on existing residents that are on, let's just say, Homestead. Are they able to use Willow just because they're an existing member, community member that is there for 35 years, let's just say? Are they able to use Willow after this?
I'd have to look into that, but if he has a resolution stating that that is his local route, so to speak, if you want to call that for safety reasons.
Sure.
I would imagine that that would be permitted. I could be wrong, but I can appreciate what he's saying, is that we know that the bridge is narrow going on the other direction.
Absolutely.
And he would be considered local at this point, just like a farmer going to his area, and any other deliveries that if someone had to take a truck to a house for a local delivery, they'd be permitted because that's considered local.
And then how about if there was a new place on Homestead Road that had very large tractor trailers? Would a new place be able to use Willow?
That would be based on more likely not, but it's not local. Well, again, it's if Mr. Shockley's route is protected by resolution from a decision made by this township or board 30 years ago, it stands.
Mhm.
But a new owner would have to get a new decision.
And then where would a Homestead truck go if they needed to go someplace? Just for example, you were looking them to go out to 206?
Well, they can go if in Mr. Shockley's case, because I know his property, you'd have to go left to go to to Willow, excuse me, and right to 206.
Right. And then not using the bypass.
There is no direct access to the bypass off of Homestead Road.
And the same thing is true for Hillsborough Road. They wouldn't be able to use the bypass as well because they would be affected for Willow, sort of if they used a cutout as well, right?
I'm not sure what you're asking. He could use the bypass. He's legal on the bypass.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of other trucks that wanted and part of it
In
was
fact,
from
the
Susan's
bypass
comment.
was designed to take truck traffic off of local 206 and to divert it around the town to go those going north and south. And that is the main purpose of the road.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, there was, back when the planning was done, there was supposed to be a parallel road built by the state between Homestead and Hillsborough, and the state decided not to do that.
And I think those are some of the questions from Susan, at least, is saying why not extend this down to Township Line Road? Because if we're looking for them to use the bypass all the way up through 206, then really that weight restriction should be extended all the way down. Otherwise, Hillsborough's got to go out through 206. There's no left-hand turn onto 206 from Hillsborough to the bypass. You still got to go right all the way through up to 206. So wonderful that this is being done, and I'm sure you're looking at it through the master plan review as well, which I'm happy to hear. So thank you for this initial step. Looking forward to the next step as well.
Challenging, but
You
I
can-
think I can
Go,
manage.
Ro-
There you
there you
go.
go.
So 592 Willow Road. So first of all.
Last name, please.
Bina Patel.
Thank you.
Yep. So I've been living here in Hillsborough since 2012. I feel like I've spoke to maybe one or maybe a couple of you guys back when I first started living here, and my kids were very young. So Willow Road, well knowing that it's a road, understood. But here's the thing, right? For people that do live on this road, we appreciate this because, we are, taxpayers, right? And I do have over 3 acres. So my acres do count as well. And the fact that, we're saying that it wouldn't make a difference or, we need to wait, what's there to wait? You're waiting for something bad to happen? My kids are now 19 and 16. Still take the bus, right? Now drive. And now I have to compete and worry about my kids hitting trucks because these trucks are going to be coming on Willow Road. So many reasons for why this should not go through. It doesn't make sense. Our kids are, valuable to us. They're our future. And, for those that don't live here, it makes no difference to them, but it makes a big difference to us. So, my 2 cents.
You're welcome. The only one that you have talked to in 2012 would have been Mr. Thompson. None of us were up here in 2012, and maybe Mr. Ferrera.
Yeah.
You've spoken in my office.
That's right. That's right. Great memory, by the way. Great memory. Yeah, so.
He still got it.
Like a lock.
Yeah, excellent memory. But thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, Nicole Rahman, 594 Willow Road. So I'm also very affected by this as well, and I thank you for trying to do this because it definitely affects myself and other residents on the road. You know, we use it for biking. There's that park that was mentioned that we use, as well as, and it actually has changed. I've been here since 2010. So the use of the road has also changed as well. So there are more pedestrians out. A lot of elderly people from walking from one development to another. And that's scary when I'm driving and I see these elderly people walking because there's not a continuous sidewalk. So I'm always slowing down and trying to move over. You know, people walking their dogs, people using their bikes, the children, myself and my children trying to bike from one area to another. It's scary just with the cars, but with having trucks around, it would even be scarier. So I thank you for this. And again, you know, I was told wait for the bypass to come in to alleviate some of this. So it is here. So thank you for your consideration.
Thanks, Rahman.
Scott Gross, 8 White Meadow Road. My wife and I moved to Hillsborough 29 years ago, and what attracted us to this town was that it was a quiet, safe place. We had a good mix of rural, residential, and commercial businesses, and it seemed that Hillsborough achieved a really good, healthy balance of quality of life for residents, and also beautiful open spaces and convenience of those local businesses. And consequently, it's been a great place to raise our family. Recently, we've come under attack by developers who are not from here. Somehow they look at our beautiful open spaces and think these would be a great place to put warehouses served by thousands of trucks. They don't care about our quality of life, and they never will. I'm not against development, but I'm against development where it doesn't make sense. And there are locations in our town that are quiet and safe, and this doesn't make sense here. Deputy Mayor Brady, you said that we live in a beautiful town, and I commend you for trying to preserve that. The recent zoning changes restricting warehouse development are evidence that the Township Committee feels this way, and the Willow Road weight restriction is further evidence that we're looking to restrict heavy truck traffic in this part of town. I applaud you for considering the ordinance, and I encourage you to pass it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Gross.
Linda Shockley, 189 Homestead Road. Mr. Thompson, I'd like to say, I don't think anybody objects to your opinion or any of your opinion. I've been coming to these meetings and I've been watching them on YouTube, and I don't know how you people have the patience that you have. So I think it's more the delivery than it is your opinion. I'd like to say, we've been on a Homestead Road since 1988. It was a dirt road, many accidents because of the speeding. And today, and I never had to wait to go out of my driveway. Today, it's a busy road. And the children that they're talking about getting to the high school, that's what should be done. It should be speed limits, because somebody's going to get hurt, and it's not going to be because of trucks. We've been here a long time, and when we had the farm, we had arguments too. They didn't, most of the people here came after us, all the developments in the back. They didn't want the farm, we were farming, we had manure, there was odors. Then, now they, you know, so we had to get rid of the farm. Now they want the farm. People, they're going to complain no matter what. And we've been running those roads with our trucks and our people for all these years. And I just want you to know my opinion, because like I said, I've been listening and coming to these meetings, and I think everybody should have a say. Some have more than others, But I don't think it's right when you're sitting here and you're hearing people heckling in the background and making comments and saying stuff like, should I boo you? I don't think that's right, and I don't think they should have the right to do that, because we sit here respectfully, and they should be doing the same thing. Thank you.
Ms. Shockley?
I do agree. I am curt at times. I've been doing this now for 12 years. My town, I believe, is under threat of development more so than ever. I was born and raised here, born and proud to say in 1981 on East Mountain Road, and I've, just like you've been here for a very long time. But I do feel like Hillsborough is under threat right now. And I'm curt at times because when I hear, let's say, outside counsel who doesn't live in Hillsborough, even if they're representing property owners here, when they have not been watching Hillsborough grow through the years like I have and like you have, I will be passionate, but I need them to understand that we do have the right to weight restrict the road. And that's where I'm coming from. So, and again, I appreciate, I am curt over this, but it's because I've been up here for 12 years, and I think I've earned the right to let residents know that I'm advocating for them. And just want to think, I agree with you wholeheartedly that your opinion is just as valid as every other person's opinion in this room, and that if you are being heckled in the back, that is inappropriate.
100%.
Everyone should just be able to listen and be respectful, even if you wholeheartedly disagree and you think someone's saying something off the wall. But just you have the same rights as every single individual in this room. Yep.
That's why I didn't want the applause. Everyone has a right to their opinion, and be respectful of that. As long as I'm up here, that's the way it's going to be. Anyone else? Oh, we got one more, sorry. I didn't see you in the back there hiding.
Maria Walsh, 7 Anka Drive. I wasn't planning on coming up tonight, but I do want to commend you all for this ordinance. And I commend you for planning ahead, because I feel like sometimes we're always behind the 8 ball, and we need to be ahead of it. And I also commend you for working for the people of this town, because that's what we need. I'm not opposed to development. I've been here over 20 years. I've seen things being developed. I am opposed to overdevelopment. And I like our town the way it is. And even though it's a big town, I like the small town feel of it. And I want to keep it that way because I plan on living here for the rest of my life. So I really do commend you on this. I hope we move forward with it, and hope we see more of things like this come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Walsh.
As we're waiting for one other person to come up, I just wanted to mention, someone mentioned flood a couple minutes ago. The inland flood rules, which we submitted comments on, maybe back in April or May, they were adopted formally by the government. They're in effect now, which I think will do a lot to curb development here in Hillsborough and inland flooding and help prevent flooding. So also, Mr. Tarantino, I saw you submitted comments on that. So thank you. And I appreciate everyone in the audience who did submit comments where we begged everyone to join us. So we submitted comment as a township committee, and thank you again for submitting comments as well. June 17th, they were formally adopted. And there's a webinar in July 24th if you're interested.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson, for that PSA.
Bob Hollingshead, 31 Winding Way.
Hello, Bob.
And I'll just make it brief. I won't use the W word at all, because even without that, Willow Road has a park, it has bike lanes, and it's all about safety. A heavy vehicle, like a truck, there's a much longer stopping distance than a car, so it's very unsafe for us, and I think this is a good thing you're trying to do.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Anyone else? We do, got one more. Took him a while to get up. We'll give him a few seconds to get here. We do have a few also after this is done. We have some that we have to read into the record that were electronically submitted, so that will be next after this.
Good evening. John Cardinelli, 12 Frederick Court.
Hello, John.
How are you? I just want to say, I don't have any numbers or tell you if the evaluation of the groundwater is right in this location or not. I'm just looking at the beginning of this meeting, spent an hour talking about those children, their prowess, what they achieved. And I find that our responsibility to give them Hillsborough as a good place to live, because the sign, we don't want to change that sign. We shouldn't have to change that sign. It should still be one of the best places to live in America. And I don't know how many there are left, but I know there's one I know you could fix. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Cardinelli.
Sir, can I just comment based on that comment? I myself live right off of Willow Road, and I have 3 children, and you're talking about them essentially. So I think what you're saying is exactly right. Protecting children is the #1 thing that we need to do, 100%, and this is part of that. So thank you for your comments.
If there's no other public comments, I'm going to have Ms. Brake read the ones to the record that have come electronically.
There were a couple that submitted online but also came in person, so I am not going to read those. We will reflect them in the minutes, however. Dale Gordon and Suzanne Osh, 425 Willow. Kudos to the Township Committee for introducing this vital ordinance to protect the health and safety of its residents, particularly those who live in the Belmead section of town. We urge you to vote in favor of this ordinance. Thank you in advance for being good stewards of all the well-being of citizens in this town. As stated in the introduced ordinance, the section of Willow Road primarily consists of residential properties and a township park. There are sidewalks and bicycle lanes along Willow Road, and as such, is used by pedestrians and cyclists. This is not an appropriate road for the traffic of large trucks. Thank you for taking this action to keep our roads safe and to preserve our quality of life in Hillsborough. We further ask that you consider introducing another ordinance to extend the same weight limit along all of Willow Road south to the Hillsborough border at Township Line Road. This stretch of roadway is residential with preserved open space, farmland preservation, and a township park. There are sidewalks and bicycle lanes along part of this section of the road. There are 2 curves further south that require a low speed limit to safely navigate. The level of safety is also negatively impacted since there are no shoulders on this section of the roadway. In summary, we ask that you vote in favor of Ordinance 2023-09 and urge you to introduce another ordinance to extend the truck weight limit all the way to all of Willow Road. Dennis Cronin, 580 Willow Road. I live on Willow Road. Much of the truck traffic that I see on my road is obviously through traffic, especially the tractor trailers. This traffic should be redirected to the bypass. James Vonderhorst, 88 Weber Avenue. Regarding the Willow Road weight restriction ordinance, the Board of Directors of the Hearthstone at Hillsborough Community strongly support the passage of this ordinance. Thank you for doing the right thing for the residents of Hillsborough. Aksa Iqbal, 596 Willow Road. These weighted trucks are making issues to the pavement of our roads. We don't want them furthering potholes and cracks. Being that Willow Road is a 1-lane street, the trucks make it very difficult to get around and create major congestion. Sue at 10 Renard Road. Increased tractor-trailer traffic will increase air and noise pollution and compromise the safety of any bicycle traffic. The negative impacts imposed compromise the safety on. The negative impacts imposed by heavy trucks would be intensified at arterial roads due to the presence of traffic lights when heavy vehicles have to decelerate at the red light, stop, and then accelerate again. Please keep Hillsborough Road safe for families living here as well as those who may move here. Sharon Hung, 509 South Woods Road. I support no trucks over 4 tons or large, heavy construction trucks on Willow Road. Can be cars, SUVs, small delivery vehicles, and trash disposal collection and recycling trucks only. Rafiq Bowler and Suni Bowler, 47 Winding Way. This is regarding public hearing before the Township Committee on proposed Willow Road weight restriction on Ordinance 2023-09. We are in favor of this ordinance as it will dramatically protect our neighborhoods from massive truck traffic, which will result in us never getting to work on time. This road is the only road for travel from this part of Hillsborough to all highways. There are small single-lane country roads This ordinance will also help the high school students from this part of Hillsborough who use this road to go to the high school, sometimes even twice a day for after-school activities. Without a weight restriction, the semis pose a danger to newly licensed student drivers. High school students will never be able to get on school on time with semis going slowly on this road. We are also concerned about the wear and tear on the roads, which semis will cause, and the cost of repairs will lead to an increase in taxes for residents. Roman Civ River, 24 Tally Ho Trail. By excluding trucks over 4 tons from Willow Road, we protect our township, prevent warehouses, and preserve the essence of our community. Please vote in favor of this resolution. Ina Civ River, 24 Tally Road. I fully support 2023-09, which aims to shield our community from the negative impacts of mega warehouses. By excluding trucks over 4 tons from Willow Road, we can reduce traffic congestion, enhance road safety, and improve air quality. This helps maintain property values, preserves our township's character, and prioritizes the well-being of our residents. I urge the Township Board to approve this resolution, demonstrating our commitment to protecting our community from the adverse effects of mega warehouses. Niyata Shah, 3-year run. I applaud the committee for taking steps to keep Willow Road safe from a barrage of truck traffic. We fully support the passage of this ordinance. I do want to ask about a few different cases for planning purposes. Will residents need to take special steps in the event of a furniture or appliance delivery, or when renovation or construction debris needs to be picked up? And how should residents handle moves when large trucks are required? In these scenarios, the trucks will likely be over 4 tons. Thank you. And finally, Elizabeth Bizarres, 6-year run. I fully support the adoption of Ordinance 2023-09 to impose a vehicle weight restriction on Willow Road.
Thank you, Ms. Brake. Have a sip of water. All right. That is all the public comment we have. So at this point, what's left, may have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2023-09.
Mayor, I make that motion to close and adopt.
Do I have a second?
Second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Chigarelli?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Britting?
On behalf of my children and their friends who I consider family, yes.
Mayor Lapani?
Before I cast my vote, I want to give an overall look, because really it's my name on this, and I'll take blame and praise, because it came down to my decision, based on the decision that we needed to make, because ultimately, if it's, I'm the one in the center chair. I see not the concern that I have for this area, not necessarily the building that is being developed or proposed to be developed. It's the stuff coming from north and south of our town. I've been here since 1973. I remember when I could walk across 206 and not look. I used to ride my bike to Willow Road down to Winding Way. My best friend lived there. I used to ride it all the time. I want to give you a little number here, a traffic study that we did, that you'll get the direct idea, but over the study period we had, there was 22,000 vehicles on Willow Road making trips. I think it was a 2-week period. It's a lot of traffic, both trucks, cars, whatever, but that's a feeder road to that part of town. But it's also a road that, from those coming from 287, that might want to skirt through and get south and vice versa. So my concern here wasn't necessarily what is here today and what may be proposed on certain areas around this area, but really what is the outside influences of this region and how we're being, as I think it was brought up by Committeeman Thompson, the assaults on central Jersey from all over. And Montgomery is part of it. Somerville to the north, our friends in Manville, out west in Hunter County. I used to be able to, know every way around from 206 before the bypass was in, because if you didn't, you were stuck on traffic. And I knew every way around this town without touching 206. And the GPS has made that even easier for people, because they'll take you away that you may not even know. So, with respect to the counselor and everyone else, I appreciate their opinion and their concern for their client that they represent. with all things, I know the Shockleys, I've known them for 30 years. But it's really not about the Shockleys. It's not about the other areas. It's really about what is coming into Hillsborough, and this is our way to try and keep our residential neighborhoods residential. And that's all it is. For that, I vote yes. Moving on. Ordinance 2023-12. An ordinance appropriating certain monies held by the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey for the purchase of various capital improvements in the amount of $480,000 in for the Township of Hillsborough. Further consideration of public hearing will be held on our meeting August 22nd of 2023. May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2023-12?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Chigarelli?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Britting?
Yes.
Mayor LaPani?
Yes. We'll move to claims list. May I have a motion to approve claims list 2023-11?
So moved, Mayor.
Second?
Second.
Any comments from the dais? Any comments from the floor on claims list 2023-11?
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. There are two claims lists, and the way it's put together, can't tell which expenses are for...
Hold on, Ms. Janasek.
this one?
If you're going to leave, please go quietly. We're having a meeting here. Either sit down and be quiet or leave and talk outside.
So
Thank you.
It's confusing because the other claims list is in the middle of this, and it just says page 152 of 154. Is that what that is? It's just 2 pages for the second one?
Mr. Will can
Ms.
explain.
Janasek, everything that you see on your claims list that is not my firm's invoices are claims list 1, and my firm's invoices are claims list 2.
So your firms are on a separate claims list?
Yes, ma'am.
And, okay, so which one you're saying 2? Which one?
The
That's
next one.
Says part 2.
2312?
Yes.
Okay, so those are from your firm, Di
Only.
Francesco?
Yes, ma'am.
Bateman, okay. So we're going with claim list 2311?
Correct.
Okay. On page 103 of 154,
We
it
don't
says
have it.
condo services, snow removal reimbursement. We didn't have much snow this past winter. Was there enough snow to have, pay for snow removal?
I think there was one event, maybe.
It's a snow reimbursement, so
Snow removal reimbursement, yeah.
for which condo, does it say?
There's several of them, Claremont Hills, Crestmont, Hearthstone, Majestic, and Tudor.
So I believe those developments pay us money towards, no? Am I wrong, misunderstanding?
Again, I don't have the claims list in front of me,
Yeah, they don't have
but based upon
150
my experience, I think what she's probably referring to is the Municipal Services Act. The Municipal Services Act basically says the municipality has to reimburse these condo developments because you provide that service to everybody, every other resident in town, but you're not providing it to them for their
That's right,
private
that's what I
roads.
meant.
Right, we have to reimburse them. And what
bill.
we reimburse them for is, how much does it cost us to pay, snowplow a mile of road? That's how much we have to reimburse them.
And I
It's actually the greater of what they pay, the lesser of what they pay or what we pay to do a mile of road.
Mr. Willard is correct.
Right, I was getting there, but I probably said it wrong.
Okay. I understand that, except that this past winter, I don't think we had enough snow to remove from anywhere, so I don't know why there's an expensive
We had
snow
salting
removal.
stuff, we had some salt issue.
We had what?
Remember during Christmas week, we had that giant freeze? And all the roads were frozen in the black ice because we had to send out actually a bunch of crews to 206 to clean up the ponding there, right during Christmas Eve. Everybody lost power. Remember that big freeze we had?
So what's done in that situation? They put down
Well,
salt?
they obviously salted. to keep the road safe, because we had the flash freeze from the rain. That was just one storm I can pull out, only because I know that was
So that.
a lot of
that
people
comes
were without
under-
power.
That comes under snow
Including us.
removal?
Well, any snow removal, that's anything to deal with snow and ice.
Okay. Just a second. Oh, on page 107 of 154, the category is 2021 SLPHC grant. So I don't know what that SLPHC grant is. And there's one for a Tiffany Neal for $5,643.75. What is that?
I don't know, and I don't have a page marking the same page that you have, so I would say talk to our CFO and they can answer that question. She was here before. Our new CFO is Alicia Noon, if you haven't met her yet. She's very nice.
Okay. Okay, so you don't have the pages, so you can't really
Yeah.
comment on this. Page 116 of 154, meetings, conference, conventions. So there was a GFOA conference at the Hard Rock Hotel Casino. What kind of conference was that?
What was it?
GFOA?
I believe that's the conference for the CFOs. I'm almost positive.
For who?
The CFOs, it's a CFO conference.
The government finance.
Chief Financial Officer, right.
It's the Financial Officers Association
Okay.
at their conference.
All right, because there's one for $425 and then one for $238. So the one says Hard Rock Hotel Casino, the other one doesn't say anything.
So
It
one's
says
maybe for
GF.
the room, because they usually stay over.
Right,
and-
and the other one's
and
probably the registration.
And the other one's registration for the
That would be my guess.
convention itself. Most all the conventions for the state of New Jersey are in Atlantic City. And they stay at different hotels because they're usually 2 to 3 days, depending on the conference.
Don't you think this was a bad place for the chief financial officers to be going?
Unless she brings money home. If she wins something and brings it back, I think it's 100%.
Check and make sure the township budget is still intact. Thank you.
Budget's perfect this year, flat
Budget's
tax
spot on.
rate.
Thank you, Ms.
Flat tax
Janusek, for
rate.
that levity at the end.
All right, one Janusek.
That's one for Mrs. J. Anyone else for questions on Bill List 2023-11? All right, seeing none, we have a motion and a second, and roll call, please.
Committeeman Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Britting?
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante?
Yes. So now we'll go to Claims List 2023-12, which has been said, this is really, all it is on that is our Attorney Willard's bill list. May I have a motion to approve Claims List 2023-12?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? And Ms. Janusak's hobbling up. Why don't you just stay up by the mic? Save yourself some steps. All right. Comments on the floor. Ms. Janusak.
So, like Maria Janusik, so these amounts, like 15,234 and then the 15,000, are they broken down in any way, or what is that? Is that the fee for one particular thing, 15,000, or is that broken down to different?
No, ma'am, that is the total that's on the bill list. However, our invoices are broken down by each individual task. So the actual invoice that we submit is based on, there's many entries.
Okay, and so are invoices submitted individually for each thing? Or just one invoice?
I know there's one invoice I call file H1. That's anything I do for the township. I indicate the subject matter, and then I write the legal services that I performed, and that would be a bill. I believe we have one open file also for tax appeals. So any tax appeals matters, that's built under a different file.
Yeah, this one is here, it says inspection fees, tax appeal costs.
Yeah.
But the other one just says legal services and costs and has an amount of $15,234 and then $15,364. So each of those two amounts would have invoices that break down what each
Yes, ma'am.
invoice was.
Yeah, so one is for the month of April, and one's for the month of May. So those are monthly invoices for whatever Mr. Willard submitted in any general counsel that he did for us.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Ciccarelli.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson.
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Britting.
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante.
Yes. So we're now to the crescendo of new business. We will take public comments on matters that were not on today's agenda, which I can't think that there could be much left. We did a big, because I think we talked about everything except for what the Yankees were doing. The Township Committee, Ms. Brake, please call
I need to
the
read some more.
statement regarding public comment.
The Township Committee welcomes input from the public. Please state your name and the address, and please spell your name for the record. You will be given one 3-minute allotment for your comments. Please understand that this public forum is not structured as a question and answer session. Comments are to be addressed to the mayor. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
We'll let you go first.
I get to
You're
try my
closest to the mic. And Ms. Janicek needs a break. She was up and back a couple times.
Okay, Susan Gulliford, Hunt Club Road, Gulliford. I wanted to address you on the major water line break that we had over July 4th weekend that resulted in the boil water advisories and limits on use for several days in Hillsborough. Somehow we have to make an adjustment for emergency notifications. A lot of the large rental developments did not advise their residents. A lot of the residents found out on social media and at work when they went to work. American Water did advise the landlords every time I saw one to please let your tenants know. A lot of them are not direct customers of American Water. They write their check out to someone else through their landlord, so they aren't listed as an American Water, for American Water to advise them. One office, a tenant actually did call the office and they said, oh yes, you're supposed to boil the water. And they said, why didn't we get a notice? And they said, oh, only corporate can send out emails and they're closed for the weekend. I think we need to maybe tweak our emergency
Was
planning
this
a
the
little bit.
answer from the landlord that gave him the answer?
The Brookhaven office.
Well, I just want to make sure, because you said they called.
I'm sorry,
I
a
want to
tenant-
clarify who they called.
A tenant called their office.
They didn't call the municipality. They
No.
called their office.
Well, maybe we were close too. But it seems like somehow we've got to put something in effect that somehow these landlords of these large rentals have got to step up.
To my
and
knowledge, it's already state statute. They're supposed to
Then-
they're supposed to notify, and if someone wasn't notified, they should contact their assembly member, member or senator.
So
But
let
to my
Roy
knowledge-
Freeman
To
okay.
my knowledge, I'm almost
Because,
positive that's under the Landlord Tenant Act.
Quite
Okay.
honestly, I mean, the amount of broadcasting out from
Oh.
us, American Water, the
The
people
health-
of social
the health
media,
department.
yourself, I mean, at some point it is, I'm not gonna say that they shouldn't be notified of their landlords, but it's hard to believe you didn't know that this was going on, but I do appreciate what you're saying, and I actually had a meeting with American Water, a post-conference meeting, and so they're taking a look at this and looking how to improve not only the notification process, but also how and when water is going to be available as far as bottled water. So they're taking this and looking, and it was a very large boil water restriction because they can't determine where some lines start when some lines aren't. There have been probably a lot of people that probably could have drank the water, but they just took a holistic look and said, everybody in this tri-town area is on a boil restriction until further notice.
Okay.
So,
Am I out of time?
yeah, go ahead. I'll give you
There it
another
goes.
two, I'll give you
Okay.
another minute.
My other comment,
Because that was an important
I saw a
topic.
colorized site plan for the new ShopRite, including a 171,000 square foot warehouse behind it, and I just was trying to figure out if that had been removed as an approved use in that area. I know it's not a question, but I'm bringing it up. Thank you.
It would be removed use, because it's in the, any of those zones. Take a break.
Maria Janusik. Over the last several years, I had asked questions in regard to the Polish Falcons camp liquor license because there was discrepancy with the number of the license. It was, previously, it ended with 003, and then over the years, at some point, one year, it was changed to 004, and there was never really a good answer given. A statement had been made that it was changed when there was a change of corporate structure, but I have a copy of that application, and it remained at 003 up until about 2017
And I think we've told you
or
every
18.
time you ask that question is to contact the state, because that's their decision, Ms. Janusik. We don't assign the number. And we've told you that at least 3 times, and every time you ask,
You don't assign the number, but when the renewals were done, the number was changed, and there was no explanation given. The explanation
That's-
that was given is that it was a change of corporate structure, and that's when the number was changed, and that's not the case. And this is a Hillsborough liquor license, so there should be some explanation as to what happened, that number changed.
We
it
take
really
the numbers
doesn't matter
from,
to
we
us.
take the numbers from the Alcoholic Beverage Control their portal when we're renewing the licenses. The number that they have on record is the number that we use when we renew it.
I had a tax certificate from the 2018 renewal, which showed the state had 2003 for that license, but yet the renewal was being shown as 2004.
again,
And
Ms.
so that is
Janusik, I don't
why-
want to, you're wasting your time here that you had for
It's
that
the
3
same
minutes.
license.
Talking about everything that we've talked about in the past, and there's nothing we can do to change it. If you have an issue with it, call the state.
Well, the police department also investigates the
It's still the same
licensees.
license. It's
Still-
just a revision number on the license. It doesn't really, it doesn't make it invalid or anything. It's the same license, and we
It
go
makes-
by what the state has.
It makes a difference because in what I had mentioned about this purchase and sale agreement, it specifically gives that number with the ending 003.
I suggest you go talk to the state.
Yeah, it's 004 on the state site now.
Okay.
Okay?
In regard to the ordinance that bans warehouses in the I-1, I-2, I-3 light industrial zone, the LI light industrial zone, and the GI, with the general industrial zone, have you received, or has the township received any kind of backlash from the owners of warehouses that currently exist?
Well, Ms. Curley's here tonight.
Yeah, we have one person that showed up to the meeting tonight. There's been communication with
No, she
Mr.
spoke about the weight limits, not about.
There has
the
been some
warehouses.
communications and some Q&As with Administrator Ferrer and our planning staff with what process would be, and that's what we've had to this point.
What do you mean, what process would be?
Well, they've asked us the fact that they could fill out the letter of
Non-conformance?
conformance. Yeah, so. and-
For being a non-conforming property?
Right, so that those who had questions have been answered, and it's up to them to decide what they want to do.
Okay, and is there a list in the township of the warehouse property owners in each of those zones that are now banning warehouses?
I'm not sure, you're asking for all the owners' names?
Yeah, well, the properties that have warehouses in each of those zones.
I don't think there's a formal list.
There's not a formal list, but it's on anything that's in those zones, you could pick it out, but
What?
anything that's in the zone, if you look at the map, I'm sure you could figure it out. But if you need something more specific, contact Ms. Brake, maybe we can give it to you, okay?
Thank you.
Grant Colmer, Taylor Avenue. Every time I'm here, I just have to make a comment and to advocate for our Green Hills neighborhood. As I understand it, I know that you know about it, but I'm just going to state it again. I know there's an engineering report. We're happy to see it and just to review it and understand the plans just for development, particularly with a lot of the rain that has been happening. I can tell you the problem is not getting better, and even though there was a trench that was dug, you can still see the exacerbated problems that we have with the flooding. So not only that, it may be a comprehensive approach in terms of what we are doing to addressing flooding. Two, Committeeman Chicarelli, as I hear you're on the master plan review subcommittee.
Correct.
Is that a public meeting?
No.
Okay. Do we
This-
get to see the findings of whatever
They
that
will,
subcommittee would be?
they will have in one of our work meetings, there'll be a presentation of their findings.
Is this a work meeting?
Work meeting of the planning board,
Planning board.
because
Great.
it's a planning board function.
Excellent. Come to the.
If I
Thank you
may.
so much.
And we are, we will be reaching out to the community as well. I mean, it's not going to be all behind closed doors. We're doing the things right now to move it forward, like the vulnerability study. These are things that we have to have in place by the state. And as we develop the master plan, and we're going to take input from the EBDC and businesses and residents. So we're talking through that process now, as well as probably having a town hall or something like that.
Excellent.
But it'll be, we'll get input from the community.
Wonderful. Another plug for just making sure that our community is safe.
So the study that you're talking about, most of the stuff was all going to be macro in general. And so there's studies that we've got that we're having to look through and find out what's really feasible and what isn't. There's pie in the sky stuff, but we'll get something to you soon.
And then, I guess I got a few more minutes, seconds.
Yeah.
There, as I understand it, there is money, at least if I read the news articles correctly, dedicated because of Ida, the state gave us to address flooding. Is that incorrect? And at least there was
So
a handshake with you and
we got
the governor.
We
with
got
that.
some money from actually, ARP money had some and that paid for the studies that we did. So the American Rescue Plan money.
This is like big money, though.
Right.
without it.
So the millions of dollar stuff, we apply to grants with the federal government. FEMA may have some coming down the road, but like the one that we got to do the work for you, we actually got money from the federal government 2 years ago in a grant that was given to us by Malinowski, put into his earmark 2 years ago.
Okay, there wasn't Ida flooding, like Ida specific money that was earmarked just to address the flooding issues because of Ida. That
It's going
the
to be
governor-
very competitive, and everybody's got to put in proposals.
Oh,
and-
I thought it was just for like this area.
No.
I don't think there's any money straight up dedicated just to Hillsborough. There was a lot of money put into the Blue Acres Fund, which is buying out repetitive loss properties.
Right, getting a blue
it-
zone.
Yeah, but it
And we've
wasn't
submitted all
dedicated
those.
specifically
Yeah,
for
no.
Hillsborough. You have to apply, and
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yep. Any other comments? Last chance? All right. Seeing none, thank you for coming this evening. I'll now take a motion to adjourn.
so moved, Mayor?
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Britting?
Yes.
Mayor LaFani?
Yes, thank you all for your input. We are adjourned. It is 10:10.
Look at the timing.